Well, I don't think you're going to see driverless trucks for a long time. So that would be scary, actually. The use of technology has just been in the trucking industry, and that's my focus on trucking. So the use of technology in the trucking industry is just amazing, from tracking trucks to tracking freight to, the technology in the trucks themselves, the technology in the supply chain management has been amazing. And let's talk about what the workforce departments can do is tell young men and women coming in, interested about what a cool industry this is because of the technology. Look at the cab of a truck. Look at all the cool things that we're using in the trucking industry. Technology is sexy, right? And we need to use this technology to attract the next generation and say, look at all this cool stuff we have and we're using. So I'm not going to focus on anything specifically, but the fact that there is so much technology in the trucking industry and we're not making that known. I don't think we really focus on that. You see a truck out there and you see a smokestack and you see, 18 wheels and you just think that it's the same old truck that it was 20 years ago, and it's not. It's just amazing.
Just so for the record, they're testing driverless trucks in Europe right now.
It'll be a while.
And even here, partly in response to the driver shortage, these truck platooning opportunities where one truck, and I think UPS is testing this right now, where one truck can link up behind another truck. It basically frees the driver to do paperwork and operational issues while the front lead driver is driving. They can separate and unlink sort of electronically. These things are really transforming this field in the way that we're working. Vehicles that don't crash are going to fundamentally change how we practice operations and planning and design. It's a brand new world out there, I think, that's coming in these next 10 years.
When I grew up in the food industry, it was all about where's my inventory. Today, you have everything on this thing. The truck driver has one. We know where our trucks are at. We know where the product is by the time it's built and configured somewhere in Indonesia or wherever, and when it's on a boat, when it gets off the boat, when it gets on a railroad. We know where our inventory is. Visibility tools are out there that are second to none. And Ellen's right. If you go through an Amazon distribution center and see what's in there, it's like you can launch a rocket from one of those places. It's not just about storing boxes in a facility and moving it down the supply chain. So the technology that we have used, in 1980, the cost of logistics as a percentage of GDP was about 25%. Today, it's 8.2%. And that's because we have gotten so much more productive, redeploying tools in a much better way, understanding our inventory. RFID chips, I know it's expensive now, but go to Macy's, go to Dillard's, go to JCPenney. Some of the pilots that are going on with items from an inventory management standpoint in a pair of jeans in a store, item level RFID is out there being piloted. Huge inventory implications, huge efficiency implications. So, take that to transportation. That's the guts, that's the core of everything that we do in logistics in terms of moving freight. And so there are so much technology, and we just have to figure out a way, as Ellen said, to get that out and make people understand that it's not just moving freight and kicking boxes.
No, it really is part of the solution as far as, highlighting the coolness of these industries, if you will. Again, construction, people think, a flagger on a work zone site or some guy with a jackhammer, and sure, that's part of it. But the use of building information modeling, anyone who's seen that for the first time and what someone can do to model a building or an interchange or a bridge on a computer screen before anyone turns any dirt, to see where the conflicts are, to see where the challenges are, and the cost savings, time savings, logistical savings involved in that are phenomenal, whether you are knowledgeable in that industry or not. It's a cool thing to see. Utilizing GPS, grading a highway, utilizing GPS technology for that. We're talking about RFID, using RFID tagging for inventory, for how much steel's on a job site and where is it, and just the inventory controls there. I think it would open a lot of eyes, but again, it's something that will take that education, because it's not something that comes first thing to somebody's mind when they're thinking about trucking or construction, for that matter, or supply chain. So that'll take some education, but I think the technology, drivers will help lead us toward a workforce solution. We just have to articulate it.
So when I hear us talk about technology, the first thing that comes to my mind is retention. So as we continue to have advances in technology, and we talk about the crisis in the workforce in transportation, we are being exposed to losing more people if we do not keep up with the training as technology continues to advance. So I think it's an awareness that we need to bring to the whole industry as every mode is changing, that it's essential that they put in place these training programs. They're going to result in retention for transportation, not having more people leave the industry.